Thank you to DistroKid for sponsoring this video and supporting my channel. So I don't think I've ever made drill on this channel, but there's a first time for everything, so let's see how this goes. Before we get started though, don't forget to download my free production starter kit. This kit contains 5 original loops with stems in all major and minor triad chords and scales in MIDI form. The kit is totally free and you can get it by downloading from the description down below. Okay, so I am not an expert on this genre at all, but I do know that drill tends to be very aggressive, very dark. So what I'm gonna do is, let's go over to scalar first. Let's open this up, and I'm gonna pick a dark scale. So I'm gonna go over to, I like E flat, and then let's do minor scale. Boom, there it is. Now from here, to make it a little easier for me to just kind of noodle around with some ideas, let me go over and link this scale to the B section here. So now from here, we can basically play these chords with certain keys on the keyboard. So now the only problem though is that if I try to record with scalar like this, it'll only program one note instead of the chord, and I'll show you what I mean here real quick. Right, so even though I'm playing chords, it's only recording single notes. So to kind of combat this, what I do is pick any other VST, it doesn't really matter. I'm gonna use Nexus here, and you're gonna wanna set the input from whatever it is. Usually I have mine on all inputs. You're gonna wanna set this to scalar 2. Go back to scalar 2, take off the record, so only leave the monitoring, and then record, or set the recording for that second VST, but take off the monitoring. So it should look like this. And now let's go ahead and just record something real quick. Let me see. And now we have the chords exactly how you want them to. What I am gonna do here though is I'm gonna just go ahead and fix them a little bit. And they sound okay, but I do wanna switch around some of these voicings. So for example, here, I'm gonna take the top notes, send it down an octave. Same for this one. Just sounds darker. Perfect. Okay, from here though, I don't want this to be on a piano. I'm gonna switch this down to maybe like a pad. So let me bring this down to Omnisphere, and let's see if we can find a pad in here that could be something that we can use. That one can work actually, we just need to do a little bit of processing. So let's go ahead and rename this to pad. And what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna bring in an EQ because I wanna filter it out. So let me do... a little bit more highs. And then let's go ahead and add a little bit of bounce, a little tremolator here. But let's bring this down to like a 4th. Bring the depth down. And I wanted it a little rushed. And then we can also just add a little bit of RC20 for some flavor. Okay, so I also know that there's a lot of bells happening in drill. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna duplicate this Omnisphere, because I also know that they have some pretty good bells in there too. So I'm gonna just duplicate this down and let's see what we can find. Okay, yeah, check this out. So I found this bell under the Bells and Vibes, Bells Analog, and it's called the Calderon Reality P. By itself, it sounds like this. And I think it sounds amazing. Now, I did duplicate it from the pad, so I took off the tremolator, I took off the RC20, but I did leave the EQ, and I just kind of opened this up a little bit more to about 5600 hertz, because otherwise it sounded way too muffled, and this is a high frequency instrument, so I wanted that in there. So then together it sounds like this. Although now that I listen to it though, I think I'm gonna remove this last one and extend this out. Awesome, so then we left this very constant, And then the only change right now at the end is happening here with the pad. So that dun dun. Okay, last but not least, before we move on to the drums, I do want to I want to add like some sort of like dark choir. I know choirs are also a big thing with drill. So I'm gonna do some digging. I don't know. We'll see what we can find. Okay, so I went searching on Splice because if you did not know this, Splice also has presets for Serum. They might have others for other VSTs, but they definitely have presets for Serum. And I found this like trippy choir kind of thing. Right? So if we take the bells, which had the modified ending to it, and we switch these up here, this might also need some processing, so let's see what we can do. Okay, so let me just go ahead and bring up an EQ. Everything is kind of filtered in this beat so far, so let's just go ahead and match that kind of vibe. Filtered here. A little bit more. Just adds a little bit of top end, like sizzle. Cool, I'm pretty happy right now with the melody, so let's move on down to the drums and see what we can do. Before we do though, if you've been enjoying this video, then do me a huge favor and hit that like button. Liking this video is an easy way to, one, let me know that you enjoyed the video, and two, let the algorithm know so it spreads it out to more people. So again, if you've been enjoying this video, then do me a huge favor and hit that like button. Okay, so for the drums, I'm gonna make this super easy because if you guys did not know, I have a nifty little macro toolbar called the Beatmaker's toolbar that helps you make beats way quicker. So this is it right here, and what I'm gonna do is I'm currently on a snare pattern, on a snare event. I'm gonna go over to snares and claps. I'm using sample 1, and I'm gonna do snare clap on 3 and 4, which is typical for a drill beat. Usually lands on 2 or 4 or 3 if it's a regular beat, but for drill, the snare or the clap lands on beats 3 and beats 4. It's a little odd, but it sounds good once everything is together. So if I click that, now from here, let's move on down to the hi-hat. I will be changing all of these sounds a little bit later, but for now, I just want to kind of get the skeleton down. And for this, we're going to use my toolbar again. If you want this, I will link it down below so you can check it out, along with my production template here. These are both Studio One tools, and you can find them down below. But okay, for this, let's go over to hi-hats. I am using sample 1 again, and I do want a drill pattern, so let's click on that. And we get a basic pattern that we can then kind of mold into what we want. So at the moment, this is what we have so far. Hey. Okay, so let me go digging through Splice to see if I can find some more samples that can better fit this session, and we'll be right back. Okay, so check this out. I found some samples on Splice. So right now, at the moment, with the chords that we have programmed, and then the snare and the hi-hat, we have this. Okay, now it's time for the kick, so let's see what we can do here. Let me open up this event here, and I think because this is still trap-ish, a good place to start is always on the 1 and the 3, right? So, because that's kind of like the start of the section. So let me go ahead and bring up the snare just so I can see where things are landing, the little ghost snare here. Maybe here. And then maybe here, and maybe on the upbeat right before that snare. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so I think it's time for the defining element in drill, which would be an 808. So let's see. I already have one here loaded. It's in my template. So let's go ahead and start programming a couple things here. So let me open up a pattern. We are in the scale of E flat minor or D sharp minor. So let me go ahead and set my scale here. And so what I'm going to do is, let me go ahead and bring this up to D sharp. I'm going to start out by creating 808s right on top of the kick notes. Yes, but we do need to have some glides in here because that is definitely a defining characteristic. So I learned this trick from another YouTuber, Craftmaster, shout out to him. But basically what you want to do to have slides in sample 1 is, I believe it was, keep the sustain up, everything else down for the envelopes here, mono, glide, and then keep this at like, I don't know, let's do 60. And I believe that was it. And then we can set the note up top here. Yes, but that's not what I wanted it to do. Okay, so check it out. I came up with a little pattern here for the 808. So we have the basic note here, the D sharp, and then I am adding a couple of different little jumps. And because of the changes that we made to sample 1, we can't have these glides now. So again, turn down everything but the sustain. I believe in the filter too. Mono glide, and then set your glide here to anywhere here between 50 and like 70, I believe it was. So now we got this. And then I do think this needs a little bit of oomph. So I'm gonna add a sausage fattener. Let's do... Hey. Okay, so I do want some sort of like slight melody on top of this. I don't want to overdo it because I know simplicity is the name of the game here, but I do want something slight because my idea is I want to have this only happen in the chorus to let the listener know that we're in the main part of the beat, and then take it off whenever we're in the chorus. So let me see what we can find here. You know, I haven't used expand in a while, so let's see what we can find here. I want like a hard lead, something that... Or maybe soft, I don't know, we'll see. Okay, so I did find one here. It's called a Fat Fuzzy Square under the hard leads. I think if we add a little bit of an EQ here, we can have something really nice. So let me go ahead and pull up an EQ. And let's do... Bring this down in volume. And then we could probably also add some delay, an echo boy, set the feedback maybe here, take out the lows, and let's switch out the style to Memory Man. This is a really good one. And then last but not least, a little bit of a reverb, just to kind of wash it out and put it in the background even more. So now we just need some sort of melody. So let me see here. I think we need a little bit more work here on the drums. So let me go ahead and open up this hi-hat here. I want some rolls, so let's go over it. Switches to 32nd. Let's go over to here. And then here again. And then a little bit of gap here. Yeah, take that one out. Adds a little bit of breathing room, so... And it adds way more bounce, I think. And then maybe some sort of like perk to accentuate some of those little gaps, but like a subtle perk. So let me see what I can find here. Okay, so I found this perk here in Serum, or rather I found it in Splice and then imported into Serum. But it sounds like this. Right? I added a little bit of a Valhalla room, which is a room reverb, and then an echo boy. You can see this here. And now the drums sound like this. And then once we add everything together, this is the whole main part of the beat. So I think this is pretty much the main part of the beat. Now I'm going to do some arranging, and I'll come back and I'll show you what I have for the final product. As I arranged this beat though, I did want to let you know about today's video sponsor, DistroKid. DistroKid is my preferred music distribution service, and with membership starting at $20 a year for unlimited uploads, it is also one of the most affordable ones. One of my favorite things about DistroKid is the fact that they provide you with a one-stop shop for you to edit and maintain all of your artist profiles across multiple streaming platforms like Apple Music or Spotify. For those two specifically, if you log into your account, you can head over to the Goodies drop-down menu, and under the Special Access tab, you will be able to do all of your edits here from one single place. That way it becomes super easy to maintain a consistent and cohesive brand across the web. If you're looking to release your own music and you want a super affordable and user-friendly experience, then make sure to use my link down below to get 7% off your first year with DistroKid. Okay, so I have the beat pretty much arranged. Now I did add a couple little things here and there. So for example, in the chorus here, I added an open hat just to kind of accentuate that perk and let me know that we are in the chorus. Now, I did add a little bit of delay, some widening, and then also a little bit of a reverb. Now, in terms of the actual arrangement, going into the verse, I dropped out the lead, and I also changed the 808 and the kick pattern. Now, on the second half of the verse, which I called verse B-side, I also brought in that dark choir, and then at the very end here, I just kind of took off some of the hi-hats to reduce some energy and let you know we're going back into the chorus. But okay, take a listen and let me know what you think down below. But that's it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to pick up your DistroKid discount by clicking the first link down below. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you on the next one.